2-ton guy is on the ground doing push-ups when he looks up and spots a few hunters trying to steal his goats. The furious giant swings his massive fists and just pummels one of the hunters. He's turned to pulp in an instant. The giant could crush them with one stomp, but one of the hunters isn't afraid to die, so he pulls out a wooden stake and charges in for a sneak attack. It's a move he'll regret for the rest of his life. The last guy is scared out of his mind and runs for his life. The giant immediately gives chase with this intimidating swagger, but he's just too big and can't quite catch him. The next day, a man named Mark leads his soldiers into the mountains to find the giant. His plan is to have some of his soldiers disguise themselves as villagers to act as bait, while the archers hide in the woods, ready for an ambush. Sure enough, it isn't long before the giant smells them and comes out of his lair. Mark immediately orders his soldiers to attack, but he completely underestimated the giant's power. The soldiers who charge in are taken down one by one. Against a creature this massive, these little guys don't even stand a chance. Mark has no choice but to change tactics. The giant, hit by the arrows, starts to falter. The soldiers press their advantage, rushing in to surround him. Seeing he's in trouble, the giant tries to run for it, but suddenly he loses his footing and falls right into a trap. The soldiers immediately split up to spring the net, but Mark doesn't want to kill the giant. Instead, he plans to take him back to the castle to show him off. One of the soldiers is curious to see what the giant's single eye looks like, but the moment he peeks over, he gets pulled into the pit by the giant. The others rush in to help, threatened by dozens of spears. The giant finally lets go. Mark quickly grabs a cloth and blindfolds the giant's eye, but even though he can't see, the giant is still incredibly intimidating. The soldiers don't dare get anywhere near him. Next, the giant is carted back to the castle, and the people just erupt in cheers. After 10 years as a soldier, Mark is finally having his moment of glory. Even the princess can't help but look at him with admiration. This is his big chance for a promotion and a raise, so Mark clears his throat and starts shouting to the crowd. He rips off the red cloth, and the crowd of onlookers just goes wild. Everyone hates this man-eating monster. A kid even starts throwing rocks at him. Having lost his freedom, all the giant can do is roar in fury, but the louder he yells, the more excited the crowd gets. One guy even ties a rat to a stick and starts taunting him with it, but apparently that's not exciting enough for him, so he brings over a stool to stand on. He probably figures that with the giant's hands tied, he's perfectly safe. Well, the next second, he gets his arm bitten right off. At this point, the giant is absolutely enraged. He lets out a roar and directly shatters the iron chain. The giant rips the cloth away, revealing his single, piercing eye. Mark raises his sword, threatening him to surrender, but the giant just roars and starts to fight back, screaming, Mark. While the giant is distracted, Mark prepares a sneak attack from behind, but the king sees just how powerful this monster is, and he decides to take him to the fighting pits. He can make him duel with slaves and sell tickets to make a fortune. And just like that, the giant, known as the great demon of the mountain, was locked in a cage. He was given 10 pounds of mutton to feed the Cyclops, but for a giant with a massive appetite, this was barely a mouthful, so Mark reluctantly brings him a leg of lamb, but the giant is still starving. After a few days, he finally quiets down. The soldiers assume the giant must be out of energy, so they deliberately go up to provoke him. The next thing you know, it ends in disaster. The giant deals with the soldier, immediately grabs the keys, and escapes. At that very moment, 3 punks are messing around on the street when suddenly they hear the heavy thud of footsteps. In the blink of an eye, he's already eaten a few of them. The next day, a slave girl is about to go to the market. An old man notices her and gets some bad ideas, but he has no clue the giant is standing right behind him. The man turns, sees him, and is scared out of his mind. He starts lashing out with his whip, but hitting the giant with it is basically just scratching an itch for him. The terrified old man has no choice but to run for his life. He spots a house nearby, dashes inside, and bolts